And thank you again for joining us for the Tumblr, a blogging platform session. Sharon, as you have mentioned, we are exploring different tools that could be used with the students, and we believe that the Tumblr is one of the tools that could fairly easily be implemented in adult literacy classrooms, not only by students but also by teachers as well. Whether it's to share information on resources or provide updates, it's something that can be quickly updated and provided to the students on an ongoing basis. So before we go into the actual session, I'm just going to go quickly through how our webinar is going to work and through some of the tools that you have available. In your toolbox, you will have the main section, which we call the viewer section. That's where you will see my screen and all the slides I'm sharing today. And on the right side, you're going to have a section with the tools available to you. As a participant, you will have the audio options and a section with questions, and those questions can be sent to me. Usually those questions are not shared with all the participants. We have noticed that sometimes there's an option to share with all and share with specific person, but not always. So we're just going to assume that the questions are coming to me as a presenter, and then I can read them out loud or repeat them during the presentation. The other thing I just want to clarify, as I mentioned earlier, is that we are recording this session, and it's to make sure that those who couldn't join us today or are coming in late can go back and review some of the information we have shared during the session. So now that we talked quickly about the webinar tools, let's just jump quickly into Tumblr. And if you have heard or used Tumblr before, it's really a microblogging platform. And what that means is it's short-form blogs or updates that you're posting directly online. And Tumblr allows you to post all kinds of content, whether it's text or pictures, links or quotes, videos. All that information can be posted directly in Tumblr, and it's available through a web page online, through your phone applications, as well as tablet applications as well. Something that's becoming more and more common, that we are accessing and using tools not only directly through the desktop, but also through mobile devices as well. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's also popular with the younger generation. Now, when it comes to the way it's set up, some users compare Tumblr to a mix between Twitter and WordPress. So if you're a Twitter user, you can let me know in the question box if you are. But if you're a Twitter user, you may know that Twitter allows only 140 characters. So the updated information you would post is very, very short. WordPress, on the other hand, allows for much longer entries and organizes the entries in a specific order, with the latest entries showing up first. What Tumblr is doing is combining this kind of approach where the posts can be very short. They could be as simple as pictures, nothing else, but they also get organized in a specific order, so it's fairly easy to navigate through them as well. It's very interesting to know that Tumblr was started by David Karp, who was 20-something when we actually launched Tumblr. And it was started in 2007 and recently purchased by Yahoo. So knowing how big the company is, we also know that it has a lot of users, and I think that's why Yahoo became very interested in the tool. 77% of customers using Tumblr are between 16 and 34 years old, but it's also growing in popularity among older users, and probably because of how simple it is to use the tools. So let's just quickly jump in and show you how the Tumblr dashboard looks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some screen captures with you. I'm going to show you different sections and break them down for you. And then after we do that, we're going to go into a live Tumblr site and go back through the same sections just so that you're more familiar with them and understand the navigation. So this is a screen capture of the main dashboard that you would see if you log into the account. You will see there's a small icon, and there's my cat in the icon because I customized my Tumblr account. But the first section that's very popular and mostly used would be a section where you would post the content. And when it comes to posting the content, there's all kinds of different formats you can use. So that's sort of one of the main sections of the Tumblr. And if we actually take a closer look at that section, what will happen is anytime you would click on any of the text, photo, or quote, and so on, you will have opportunities to post content in a specific way. So if I clicked on a text icon, I will have a small pop-up coming up with options for me to put a title and the text of the post I want to create. I will also receive some basic tools such as bolding or italics, ability to include a link or a picture in my post. If I clicked on a photo, it's going to be a bit different format. The photo option allows me to upload up to 10 pictures at once, and when I do that, there's also an option to add a short description. So when it comes to a user who may want to share pictures, they may choose the photo option because it's much easier and faster for them to upload quickly a number of pictures at the same time. There's also an option to quote, to include a link to something, even to include a chat. And when you click on the chat icon, what will open is a box where you can have a title and then an example of how the chat would look. And you can create your own chat and embed it directly into your blog post. So if you're a teacher and you have a blog for your students, you could create a chat box and have your students participate in a discussion on a specific topic. There's also an option to create audio and video posts. And if you were doing a video, what would open would be, again, a box where you can embed a code. So if you're taking something from YouTube, you can take the code from YouTube and embed it directly there. Or you can include a URL for a specific video you may want to post. Or if you have the video on your computer or your device, you can upload directly to the blogger. It will take a few minutes for the blogger, for the Tumblr to process the actual video, and then it will get posted on the blog. Let's go back again to just posting. When you choose specific type of post you're posting, after you put all the information in, you then will be able to actually post the content. But what's very interesting as a feature in Tumblr is that you can choose when the actual post is posted. What that means is you can post right away, but you can also add it to a queue. And what Tumblr does is in the settings, it will allow you to set up a queue where basically any kind of post you're creating will be posted at specific time. For example, it could be posted twice a day, and it could happen every day that the Tumblr will just post twice at specific time. So if you create one post, it will post it at specific time based on your queue settings, or if you create 10 posts, it will also post them on a specific time based on your queue settings. There's also an option to schedule your posts. For example, if you're going away for a week and you would like to have some updates going up on your Tumblr, so that the Tumblr and blog is active, you can schedule specific posts to be posted on specific day at specific time as well. So it's slightly different than the queue because queue is sort of ongoing. So it will post 2-3 times a day on an ongoing basis, where schedule is sort of one-time scheduled time and date you're setting for that specific post. You can also save your posts as drafts, so you can start working on them, but it doesn't mean you have to post them. And you can post them privately. There could be specific people that are following your blog, and you may want to only share that information with them, and your blog could also be private. So that's when you can sort of post specific content directly to those people. So after you choose your specific setting, you would click post, and your content becomes live. Now that we took a closer look at some of the tools we have in Tumblr, let's take a look at another section that's showing in the dashboard. So as soon as you log in, you have all those tools available to you, and that section is basically called a feed. What that means is that with Tumblr, you can follow different Tumblr users. You can find all kinds of blogs that they have and basically click on a follow button, and as soon as you do that, the feed will be updating with all the content those blogs are posting. And it will be coming directly to you, right to your dashboard on the front page. And you will see that on my page right now, just right even in the box, there is YCP, which is basically a site with all kinds of photography that I like. And so I follow the blog to take a look at that. But there's also extra features that I want to show you that come when you're following any kind of Tumblr blog. And what that is 3 sections. In the top right corner, you have this fold. If you move your mouse over it, it will take you directly to the actual blog account. It will open in a new window, and it will take you right to the blog and to the latest post on that blog. At the bottom, you will also see that there's a heart, and there is basically a repost option. What that means is that with the heart, you can simply like the post to let somebody know that you like their posting. And if you want, you can repost that post directly into your own blog. For example, if you were a teacher and had students set up different Tumblr accounts, and one student posted a beautiful poem, you as a teacher, if you're following the posts, you can repost them to your account, and other students can repost them to their accounts as well. So the social aspect on Tumblr is slightly different. It's more open. You can connect and share information and content with others. There's also a section that tells you 110 notes for that specific entry. What that means is that there's 110 people who either liked or reposted that specific entry. Something good to know, because if the entries are popular, you will see that number going up and up and up. Now there's other sections that I just want to highlight, which is basically the title or the name of the blog with who is submitting it. So again, those on a live site will be hyperlinks, and you will be able to go to follow the blog. And there's the author of the blog as well as tags. The tags will have a number symbol in front of them, and in this case it's a number symbol submission and YCP photographs. The tagging system is used by Tumblr to search for content. So if you want your content to be visible to others, easily accessible, you would want to tag it with specific keywords so that other users can quickly find the information they're looking for, or just get a better concept of what the post is about. Any questions so far, Sharon? Am I going too far or too quickly? Just let me know. Okay. The second or third actually section that Tumblr has that I would like to explore with you is the right navigation bar. And I think that's usually where a lot of users get a bit confused at the beginning. It's fairly easy to understand where you're posting the content. It's fairly easy to understand the dashboard with the feed from other users. The right side gets a bit complicated because on Tumblr it's possible to create multiple blogs, and you manage them through the right side. So let's take a closer look. I just took a quick screen capture of that section, and you will see right on top it says Monica JP. When I was setting up my Tumblr account, that is my username. And automatically what Tumblr is doing is using that as my address for my blog. So as soon as I set up Monica JP as my username, Tumblr said, okay, so monicajp.tumblr.com is your actual blog address. Now I can change the title of my blog, and that's what I did. I just renamed it to Monica's Tumblr. But what's also important to point out is that you will see a small drop-down arrow, and I'll show you on the live side what it looks like. But what it means is that's where I can access multiple blogs that I'm setting up. The one that's set up right away with Monica JP is called the primary blog. That's the main one that gets set up right when you set up a Tumblr account. But you can create other types of blogs that you can use for other purposes. And this is just a quick screen capture of 3 blogs that I have. So the main one is Monica JP, which is Monica's Tumblr. The next one is HFHM, which is Habitat for Humanity Mississauga. We have used this Tumblr blog to provide updates on one of the renovation projects we have been using. And a third one is Our Cat Jessie. It's a blog I set up for today to show you some of the features. But what I really want to point out is that in Tumblr, you don't have to have one blog. You can have multiple blogs set up for different purposes. For the students, one may be enough. But as a teacher, you could have your own that you set up automatically as you set up a Tumblr account. But you could be setting up different Tumblr blogs for different classes or different projects that you're working on with your students. So one other thing that I want to mention around the different Tumblr blogs that you're setting up is that the primary blog you have, you cannot, or at least I wasn't able to find, you cannot invite other users to provide posts and updates to it. However, on the secondary blogs, you can invite other people to help you manage the actual blog posts. Yes, and Sharon, you're asking if you can accept different followers for different blogs. Yes. Yes, you can. There will be, each blog will be a separate entry, separate account, separate URL address. All of them will be separate. The only difference will be that you will be accessing them through one dashboard and switching which blog you're accessing as you go through it. And I'll show you the difference so that you will understand as well. And I'm just going to pause for a minute and say hello to Samer. Welcome, Summer. Thank you for joining us for the webinar. I hope everything is okay. Your microphone is muted, but you can type in your question box if you would like to chat with me, provide comments or questions during this webinar. Now, let's go back quickly to the right sidebar. Perfect, Summer, no problem for being late. Things happen. I'm really glad that you were able to join us. The right sidebar, again, this is just a screen capture of what we are going to see in the live side, but you will also see that under the section where I talked about different blogs for Tumblr, there's posts, and right now it says one post. I have 3 different blog accounts, but it only says one post because I'm right now pointing or showing posts for Monica JP. So it's the first blog that I'm seeing, and the system is telling me you only have one post for that one. And I'll show you later what that means. There's also a section to customize. Each of your blogs can have a very different look, very different feel, and very different setup. So that's where you would click to customize your Tumblr blogs. Now, when it comes to other blogs you're following, the system will show you what blogs you're following, and that's where it will be sitting under accounts. So it says right away that I'm following 9 blogs. I can also find additional blogs, again, going back to that social idea that you're not only blogging for yourself, you could be connecting and networking with other Tumblr users through the blogs they're setting up and sharing content on. The Tumblr will also try to recommend specific blogs for you. So if you're just starting off and you want to sort of try how things look and how the feed is working, you can just go in and follow some of those blogs, see what information is coming, and as you get more comfortable, you can stop or unfollow them and then just stick to the ones you're very interested in. There's also Radar, which is the last section at the bottom of the right side, and that is more advertising. So those are sort of blogs from Tumblr that are featured in a way by Tumblr directly on the page. I suspect that those accounts are pay for being displayed on my feed to sort of promote them to me as well. So going back to the dashboard, when we started and the picture of the dashboard, we had more information on specific content for the feed from other users coming in. But if I actually click specifically on Monica JP, my dashboard changes slightly. There's still same sections. I have all the tools I want to be able to post to my Tumblr account, text, pictures, quotes, and so on. But now that I'm right on Monica JP account, I only see content that I posted or content that I followed on other blogs as Monica JP Tumblr account. So each of the blogs I have not only has its own dashboard look that changes as you switch between the blogs, but it also has its own separate feed for specific blogs, which is kind of interesting because you could have a blog for photography, and on that blog you can follow other photography accounts. You can have a secondary blog that is for your classroom, and in the classroom you can follow accounts that will be of interest to you for the classroom. It could be your students' accounts or other educators setting up accounts as well. So you can really use it in many different ways. But switching on the dashboard can get very confusing if you have multiple accounts because the look is very similar. So what I usually say is make sure that you pay attention to what's displayed in the top right corner. Which blog you're looking at. Is it Monica JP or was it my cat account? That account name would change, and that's how I know where I am. Most of the other tools stay the same, so I still have the information about posts, information about customizing, accounts I'm following, the radar, and the feed. All that information stays similar. Now, when we were looking at the account before, I'll just quickly go back. You will see that there's a blue background. That's the dashboard look. The look I'm switching to right now is the look visible for others. So this is the actual public view. And in this view, it's the same picture, it's the same post I had in my dashboard, but this is visible to anyone who follows my account. And this is monicajp.tumblr.com. The address came when I set up my Tumblr account, and my username was Monica JP. I renamed the title to Monica's Tumblr, and I created one post. So now that address can be shared with anyone, and any student, anyone who follows me can come to my blog and follow the content I'm sharing. Now there's also a section right here on the top where you have Edit Theme and Dashboard. Because I'm logged in into my Tumblr account, the system allows me to go and navigate back and forth between the public view and my dashboard view if I want to add or edit content. Now, the look I have right now has orange text and a very white background. There's a lot of themes that you can choose to change the look of your Tumblr account, like you would do with many other blogs. So if I clicked on Change the Theme, what would happen on the left side, I would open up a box with all kinds of options. And you will see it says Edit Theme. It tells me which theme I'm using right now. It's called Quite Big. But there's also option to browse different themes, and I can go through them later on to show you. There will be multiple ones. I would say there's around 10 that are free, and then some of them you have to pay for. I think you can easily stick to the ones that are free because there's so much customization you can do. You can always change things around. Now you can also see that right in that picture, right in the screen capture, I can have the title and I can change that to anything I want. There's also a description I can add if I would like to change that. There's an avatar, which is the small icon I would like to, you may want to choose for your blog, and theme options with different colors. I'm just going to continue on the next page that I have as a screen capture. There's even more options. So let's switch back. And there's other options and settings you can choose. So there's a lot of customization you can do. You can allow other people to submit links. You can set the system so that there is an option to stretch images if they're small. You can change the font size for specific sections. And you can add pages. So a lot of users who are using blogs like WordPress, a different platform, because in WordPress you can create pages for your blog. However, the actual navigation and process of setting it up is slightly complicated. Many people don't realize that in Tumblr you can also set up pages. So the main page that you have on any blog will be the feed with the latest updates from you. But you may want to have a section or page where you want to talk about a project or about yourself or about the classroom. You could create pages for that by going to the theme and going to the Add a Page. Let's just take a quicker look at that. When I click on Add a Page, I'll have a box popping up with additional features. So I can actually choose the name of the page. In this case, it's About. And I get tools that I can use to create a page with text. I have some options for bolding, italics. I can include links. If it was a classroom, you may want to include a link to a website for the organization you're with, or maybe some other websites you have set up. There's also an option to include pictures as well. And of course, there's an option to switch to HTML if you want to use that as a code, if you're comfortable with that. But that's enough for you to create basic About page. It could be a page that says Contact Us, or it could be a page that has a video in it. You can play with it and set it up in any way you want. So I just want to really highlight that on Tumblr, it's not only an ongoing feed with your posts, you also are able to set up pages. Going back to the dashboard, in my case, my dashboard is actually dark blue, so it's fairly easy for me to differentiate the dashboard between everything else. There's a lot of tools on top that you can find useful as well. So the first one that I wanted to highlight is the wheel, or a cog, that you can use as a tool to edit things. And in this case, as soon as I click on that, because I was on my specific Monica's Tumblr account, which is the very first one that I set up through Tumblr, I'm taken into a page where I can customize my look. And in this case, I can edit my appearance, so I just put pancakes because that's something I like as a profile page image. And I can also change my tiny avatar or icon, and in this case, I put cake. But those pens, those symbols for pens, that's where you would click to change the content. There's also additional information you can add. There will be username you can change, but also change the theme, select if you want to receive replies for different users who are following you or or vice versa. You can allow people to ask you questions and then communicate with them that way. You can allow people to submit submissions to your blog so they can actually contribute to your account. I mentioned the queue earlier in the session where you can automatically publish content during specific times of the day. And you can tie your Tumblr account to Facebook and Twitter account. What that means is that you can basically post something on Tumblr, and if it's connected to Facebook and Twitter, it will get automatically posted on your social media tools as well. Something that may be handy if you're having a classroom page, a blog for the class, and also you may have a Facebook page, so the content could be updated at the same time. I'm just going to quickly pause and see if you have any questions. Sharon or Summer, anything that you're asking? I'm just going to take a few minutes to see if there's anything coming up in the questions box. Nope, good so far. That's perfect. So just again to clarify, I'm just going through screen captures. We will go to the live site in a few minutes. I just want to make sure that when we finish the session, you're going to get the PowerPoint, and you will be able to sort of go back to some of my notes and revisit some of the sections I'm trying to highlight for you. The other section right on top of the page next to the Tumblr logo is a mail or envelope that you will see. That's where you can communicate with other users. So if there are people who are following your blog and they want to communicate with you, they can send you messages, and they will be coming directly into your Tumblr account. I think you will get a copy on your email, the email you used to set up the account, but they will be all sitting here so you can go back and forth and communicate with them as well. So I'm just going to pause for a minute and go to Sharon. If you choose Facebook, do all your posts show up on Facebook, or can you choose from post to post what goes on Facebook or Twitter? I think they all will show up automatically, because what you're doing is you're connecting them through the settings. If you want to be very selective, then you probably will have to go post by post. So you can post to Tumblr and then go to your Facebook account and post the selected post directly as a link from Facebook to your Tumblr account. So it's not, I don't think it's as selective. I haven't really tried to see if that would be selective, but as far as I know, it's automatic and it goes right away, updating both accounts or just one, depending if you sign up both or one of them. But it will be updating them as you go. So any new posts will automatically be going to social media. So for example, if I was going in and posting a lot of pictures, my pictures would be getting posted to social media right away as well, which may be a very good time-saving tool to use. There is also an option that when you're following other Tumblr accounts, everybody will have their own profile set up, so there will be sort of profile image and that sort of avatar that they will be using. When you're looking at their account, in the top right corner, there will also be two options. One will be to unfollow, which means that if you're following a blog and you really don't like the content, you can just unfollow them and all the feeds will disappear from your feed page, and from now on you're not getting any updates. But also there is a sort of the icon for a person where you can send somebody a fan mail, archive the content, or see the likes that they have. What's interesting, the way Tumblr handles sending fan mail, you cannot send it right away. Sort of, it doesn't allow you to spam people. You have to follow an account and sort of try to communicate with people at least 48 hours after you follow the account. So that way it's not an immediate sort of spam option. The system has to know that you're following the account, you're interested, and only then it will let you send fan mail to the actual users. One thing that I want to highlight, and I will have 2 pages for that, is that Tumblr has a very good help section. So when you're starting off and you get confused or not sure where to go, just use their question mark. It's right there next to the envelope, and the tools section has a question mark on it. Click on it, big box opens up, and there's just search box that you can type any questions you have. And that's sometimes how I will ask questions when I'm not sure about. I'll just sort of put it in there, and there will be a lot of answers coming up. There's also lots of sections you can explore on your own to figure out maybe some of the content or questions you have. They may be in specific sections that are highlighted here. Keep in mind, there's mobile versions of Tumblr, so you can use it on Android or iOS and in the Windows Phone, which is a nice way to update your blog directly from mobile devices. You don't have to rely only on a desktop. And the other section I want to show you is that there is a link called tumblr.com/tips. not very visible directly from the help box, but when you go to that page, it will give you all kinds of tips on how to use Tumblr. And one of them is Share on Tumblr button. When you are actually on that page, you can literally click on this button and drag it to your browser, put it in your toolbar, and it will sit there. And anytime you're browsing content somewhere else, you can click on Share on Tumblr, and it will act as a shortcut for you to post something to your Tumblr account. Again, nice and quick way to update your blog. And if it's students, it could be a very easy way for them to update or work on their blogs as well. And now, let's actually take a look at the Tumblr. So that way, I'll try to sort of repeat some of the content that we went through the slides. I hope that way it will sort of be more clear. But if you have any questions as we go, again, please do not hesitate to ask. So, Summer, you're asking how do you get to the tips page? It will be tumblr.com/tips. Let me just HTTP, very easy to get to. My typing is not very good. Tumblr.com/tips. So hopefully you will get that link in your questions box, and you should be able to follow that as well. Okay. Yes, Summer. So yeah, for the tips, it's sort of a separate page that they have, not very quickly accessible from the help box. But that's why I wanted to give you a link to it, because that button is sitting on the tips page. So not sure why they're not connecting it, but I hope that through the link you will be able to quickly go to the button. Okay. So going back to the Tumblr, let's open actual Tumblr account. So I try to be quick and basically opened up my Tumblr login right away. So I'm logged in into my Tumblr account, and I'm right now looking at my main dashboard. If you look in my address, and hopefully you can see that page as well. Let me just check. Yes, you can. In the top right corner, when you look at the URL, you will see it says tumblr.com dashboard. That's the very first landing page you get when you go to the Tumblr account. So as we were trying to highlight directly in the PowerPoint, you will see I focused on the first section first, and that's where you have all kinds of tools to post different kinds of content. And the second section is the feed, and you will see I follow a Tumblr account for Gap, and when I put my mouse over the icon or avatar for it, I have the button right there to unfollow, or an option to click on the person as well and potentially send a fan mail after a while, not right away. But that's where my feed is coming in. If I scroll down, you will see that there will be more content that I have in my feed coming from different Tumblr accounts that I follow. Some of it is a bit interactive, some of it is GIF images, some of it is videos. Anything I'm interested in is coming directly to me to my Tumblr account. So if I was a student and I followed specific accounts, potentially the teacher's account or blog, everything that the teacher is posting can be coming to the student right through the dashboard. So the latest posts, the latest updates will be showing up in the student's dashboard on Tumblr. I'm going to go back to the top of the page now to go to the right side, because as I mentioned earlier, that's where we have a lot of users confused. Right now, when I came here, the system tells me you are looking at a dashboard for Monica JP. That's the account I set up when I set up my Tumblr account. Any username you choose automatically will become the address for your account. In my case, monicajp.tumblr.com. If I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to actually type in monicajp.tumblr.com and go there, and if I spell it right, monicajp.tumblr.com, I will be taken to my public view of my Monica JP blog, which I renamed to be called Monica's Tumblr. It just makes it easier for me to remember which blog it is. Because if I go back to my dashboard, I have 3 other blogs. They call the second and third one are called secondary blogs. The very first one is called primary blog. What that means is on the very first one, if I'm just in that blog right away, so it's showing here, and I look at my tools, I have information about posts, I have information on how to customize this account, accounts I follow, and recommended blogs. That's all I get. But if I switch to my other account or the secondary blog, and I'm going to go to Cat Jessie, which is the blog I set up for today, I'll click on it. It switches everything. So now it's showing me I'm on the secondary blog called Our Cat Jessie. The tools stay the same, but the feed is different. And I get all kinds of other tools, not only posts, I have 7 of those on this account, but there's also activity, and if there were other followers or information coming in, that will be showing there. And I have members. That's where I can invite other people to actually manage this blog with me. And that's what we did when we were setting up the Habitat account, which is my second blog. We did it for Habitat for Humanity Mississauga. When we set up that account, I invited other volunteers to basically have access to this account, and when they were doing build project and renovations project, they were able to go in and post pictures and content without me having to be responsible for the entire account. But that members and activity feature is only available to the secondary blogs. I hope that's clear. Is that clear? Can you just let me know in the box, in the question box? I suspect some of you are reviewing some of the content. Okay, it's clear for Sharon Summer. So just to go and clarify again, because you can create multiple blogs in Tumblr, the only way you can navigate between them is by switching the accounts in the top right corner. And my main account for Tumblr is Monica JP. That's the one I set up when I started the Tumblr account. You will see when I go to that account, my view is similar. It just shows me the tools I can use to post, feed with the content I posted recently. I don't follow anybody else on Tumblr on that account. And how many posts I have, customization, that's it. But if I go to other accounts I have, and I can create a new one by just clicking create a new blog. That's how I started the Cat Jessie account and the Habitat account. If I go to those accounts, they're called secondary blogs. The actual dashboard changes. I get different feed information. That one is tied directly to that specific blog, to the Cat Jessie blog. And also I get the activity and members features. That is available only to the secondary blogs. If you understand that, you will be fine with Tumblr because everything else is very similar. Posting works the same in all of them. Following accounts works the same on all of them. You just have to be in a specific blog to be able to follow. And just for fun, to show you the Our Cat Jessie account, I'm going to go to another tab again. I'm going to type in Our Cat Jessie, tumblr.com, which is the actual address. And that's an account I set up just to show you that there are different themes and layouts that are available. And for the Cat Jessie, I just posted different pictures. It's our new kitten we adopted. But that's a way for me to set up an account and potentially share information about my cat or my interests on the photography I'm doing with my users or my followers. If it was a teacher could set up a Tumblr account for the classroom. It could include pictures from the class activities, from field trips, videos that the teacher or the students are taking, all kinds of information you can think of. The blog can feature that right away. And so you can have multiple blogs with multiple content on it. If I scroll down through Cat Jessie, you will see there's a video, and if I click play, it will play the video. There's a picture, another picture. There's a link. This is what the link looks like. I was able to just go in and say, I want to post a link. Here's a link for the actual site where we adopted the cat. I was able to add additional information, and it goes in. This is a quote. What greater gift than the love of a cat? That is a quote option from the posting feature, and we'll do one post to show you how they work. Again, add additional information, and it gets posted. Another picture, and this was text with a picture included. So there are different formats of postings, but I wanted to show you that the blog could be a very simple way to provide updates on specific topic. Can anyone see all content you post on Tumblr? That's a question from Summer. Yes, you have an option to create the blog to be public or private. So if you make it public, anyone can see it. They can just literally go to the address I'm giving you. So if you, in your browser, if you type in arcatjesse.tumblr.com, you will be able to see exactly what I'm showing on the screen right now. So it's very quick and easy to share that with other users. I know some programs are specific with the students. They want the Tumblr accounts to be private just because they don't want that to be shared with anybody else. So that is up to you as a teacher or administrator to decide, is my blog private or public? It also depends on the purpose for your blog. If it's a teacher who is sharing content with the students, I would suggest make it public so that it's easy for the student to find it. They don't have to log in to access the information. If it's students who are sharing their writing stories, their poems, maybe personal experiences, that may be something they may want to keep private, and it doesn't get shared with anybody else. And I'll show you in the settings, when you're setting an account, you can even tell the system not to add it to the search engine, so it's not going to be found by the search engine. It will not be displayed for others. Making it private if needed, or will it be covered? Summer, yeah, I'll go back to it right away. Let me just quickly go back to the Tumblr dashboard. So now that we know that there are different kinds of dashboards you can have, one dashboard per blog, let's go and take a closer look at posting first. So in the feed, I have the latest display, the information that I posted, but I can go in and add more. So if I click on text, I have a new window that opens up, and in that window I have an option to add title. I don't have to if I don't want to, but I can. Jesse playing, I'm just going to say Jesse playing, and then I can choose, even though I chose the text box, I can choose to add more text, having fun, let's say, and I can still choose to add a picture. And I have my folder with the pictures right there, so it's a bit easier for us. But you can just go into your computer, find the pictures, whether it's on a desktop or in a specific folder, and you can just post them there, choose the picture you would like to use, and click open. The system will upload the picture for us. It's a bit big picture, so it will take a few minutes. And as soon as the picture is uploaded, it will start displaying directly on my Tumblr account. Now, because the picture is big and we are streaming our webinar, it may take a while for the picture to get posted. I didn't plan for that to happen. So let's just see if the system will quickly upload it. On my end, it's just taking a few minutes. But as soon as that picture gets added, it will get posted on my account. But before that happens, I can choose here, add to queue, schedule, save as draft, or post privately. So if I wanted to post it to specific people, I'll just choose post privately. In the settings, there's also an option to set up an account in a specific way. So that's where you can also go and set up an account. But you have those options before you actually post anything on the account. So it's still taking a few more minutes. I apologize for the time it takes to load it. It's pictures from my big camera, and the quality is a bit bigger, so the size is a bit bigger too. So we're halfway through. It's going to take a few more minutes. In the meantime, think of any other questions you may have about Tumblr, because that's one of those things where posting is fairly easy. You go through different options, you sort of explore, and you can post information. It's the settings and how people can follow you that gets a bit more complicated. Come on. I'm assuming you can see my bar slowly moving to the right. We're getting there. Perfect, Summer. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't think about the size of the pictures. Something to learn, that if you're posting pictures, maybe it's a good option to resize them. I just didn't. And usually that speed will be faster. It's just because we are right now streaming the webinar, and I think that's why the system is a bit slower. Almost there. Okay, so here we process the picture, and I'm going to post privately because now you're asking me very specific questions, and although I thought I knew, I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work. So I'm going to choose post privately, and I'm going to say post. There we go. So I posted that. It says private right in the top corner on my dashboard. So if I go to Jessie account and refresh it, here we go. It's not there. See, it's not showing up. Now, if you had a Tumblr account and you followed me, I think that's when you will see my picture. Or in the settings, I may be able to choose exactly how that's going to work. So let's go back to the dashboard and go to the settings. So again, I'm going to switch for Jessie account. So because right away the dashboard takes me to my Monica JP, but that's not the one I want to update. I'm going to say go to Cat Jessie. And that's where I saw my private picture. Go to the tools on top. That's where I can change my settings. And let's see. Let people ask questions, let people submit posts, queue, Facebook, Twitter, post by email, language, so on. Allow search engines to index your blog. If you want to have it private, say no. And then there's a password to protect this blog. So if you want to have a private blog, you could protect it with a password. And I think that's when you can sort of have all the content displayed specifically, or you can post anything and only people who go in and put the password in, they will be able to see the content. But for the private pictures, it will be more the followers that can see only specific posts, but not everybody else. I hope that's the way it is. We'll have to test it again. I apologize. And Samar, you're mentioning that you're using an iPad. Is that what you're saying? So it may be a different view for you as well. Yes, just slightly though. Okay, that's very good. I'm glad that it's not very different. Okay. So here we go again. So you can password protect your Tumblr so that it's not visible to others. And then you can create private posts by marking them as private when you're posting on the Tumblr account so that not everybody can see them. Okay, so hopefully we're getting this right. Now let's go back and take a closer look at other options. So usually what I do is if I go back now from our cat Jessie, I was in the tools right in the top right corner. I can hit home. And what happens again, this is also a reminder, automatically you're taken to your first primary blog, which is Monica JP. If you want to make changes or edit that blog, that's fine. But if you're dealing with the secondary blogs, you have to switch back again to that specific blog to see the feed and everything for that blog. Now, if I wanted to follow other people or other blogs and I was interested in cats, because that's the topic for me, I can go to the search Tumblr and I can say cats. I'm going to search for the topic of cats. And you will see that there's a lot of options to choose when it comes to other accounts that you can follow. Or not only follow, but also you can repost blog posts entered by others. So the top section displays all kinds of different Tumblr accounts with ability to follow them. So there's one funny cat GIFs. I can click follow, and from now on, updates from this blog will be coming into my Jessie account. There's other content as well. Let's pick another one right there. So now I have two that I'm following. And if I scroll down, those are actual post entries that somebody else posted. So if I like one, I can actually repost it on my account. So I can click repost, and it's going to give me a preview and going to tell me, okay, which account is it? Automatically wants me to go into Monica JP. I want Cat Jessie. and I'm going to click reblog, and that will go and show up on my Cat Jessie account. Let's check our cat Jessie.tumblr.com. There you go. So I reblogged the picture of the cat with the bathtub. Very different from our cat. Our cat loves bath and shower, gets into it all the time. But this is just to show you that you can repost content from other users. It doesn't have to be content only created by you. Now, if I go back to the Tumblr again and refresh, let's see if that's going to work. It all depends how often other bloggers are posting content. It's going to now have a feed of the latest activity for me because I'm on Cat Jessie blog. This is the one I just reposted. This is my post and some of my latest posts as well. Let's see if there's anything from the feed from the other accounts. Nothing yet, which tells me that the feeds from the accounts I followed are not from the last few days. I was updating this account in the last few days. That's why you're seeing this frequency and these posts latest. But if there was anything new coming from the blogs I followed, when I followed 2, that's when they will be showing up as well. Is that a bit clear? Okay, so a bit clear. What else can I show you? So let's go back to our cat Jessie. We are right here, just making sure. And I want to make sure I'm on the right account. Let's post a follow. If I chose the follow, you will see that there is an option to choose up to 10 pictures, and I can just click on it and pick specific pictures. I'm not going to do it because it took us a while to upload anything, so I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to cancel. But what I also want to show you is that you can also post from URL. So if there are pictures on a specific website, you can point to those pictures through URL, and you can also take a follow. So if you have a camera connected to your device, desktop, you may have a camera you're using for Skyping, or if it's mobile devices, you can take pictures directly with those, and you can post them to Tumblr as well, which is a very quick way, again, to post content. So I'm not going to post the pictures because of the speed of the connection, but I'm just going to, I wanted to show you that you can do that. Let's go back to the quote. When you want to post a quote, there's a section for text. If I put anything there, I love my cat. That's just an example. And the author will be below. So if I choose a quote, the actual quote shows up in the top part. The author, any additional information can be shown in the bottom. And there's an option to tag it again. And the tag will have a hashtag symbol or the number symbol. And that I can say cat, I can say love, and so on and so forth. That's just for tagging and labeling different information. If I'm not happy with it, I can cross it out and start over and just say cat, for example. And now that I'm ready to post it, I'm just going to say post. It's not going to post, but look at this. It's going to say I love my cat in the quotes, so the system adds quotes, and Monica as the author is shown below. So the system right away tries to break it down for you so it's easy for you to post quotes. Links. Let's say I want to post a link to, I don't know, if it was any specific website about cats or the cat rescue like I had, I would copy just the link right in the top section, and below I could add a description and more information. I could still add pictures and other content, and I could still tag. So the type of tools you get for posting are always similar. They just are specific to the type of post you want to create to make things easier. Chat, that's the one that will be very interesting. How old is your cat? My cat is 4 months old. So I'm going to post that, and it's a chat box. And what that will be is that other people can actually chat with you and post content as well. The audio files, you can enter track name, upload, or external URL. A lot of users may be interested in music. They can post that information right in their Tumblr account. And for the video, what you can do is embed a code from YouTube, for example. You can add a URL, or if you have a video on your device or your computer, you can upload the file right into Tumblr and it will get posted. That's how my video of my cat sleeping, I just literally uploaded that directly to Tumblr and it got posted within a few minutes. Tumblr took a few minutes to process it, and I suspect to make sure that this is not, this is the specific kind of content that they allow to be published. Now, I just want to mention two things about privacy and about copyright. So when it comes to Tumblr, you can see that there's a lot of sharing, following, reblogging. Tumblr, in their privacy and copyright issues, specifies that all the content that you see belongs to the authors of the content. So even though you're reblogging and reposting, the content still belongs to the original owner. Tumblr occasionally will feature images and content for promotional purposes, and for that, they have a right to actually take your content and share it with others. But this is for promotional purposes. They're not getting paid for it, and you're not being paid for it. But it's very important to talk about that when you're sharing content with others, because, for example, the cat in the corner, that's not my picture. That picture belongs to somebody else. That's why the system mentions where it actually came from, who was the author, and I cannot now take that picture and sell it online or use it for other purposes. This is specifically for me to share on the Tumblr, like other social media channels where I'm just sharing information for talking purposes and sharing purposes. So it's good to keep in mind when talking with students or using content that the content doesn't belong to you, and some people may be reusing your content as well if they follow and reblog some of your content. So that's one I wanted to mention. And the other thing I wanted to highlight as well was the section with all the questions and topics for help. So you can come in here into the question mark, put your question in there, and that system will try to search as many answers as possible. But the other thing that I want to mention is the type of content you will see. Tumblr is specific in a way when it allows for content that it allows adult content. So when you're browsing through different Tumblr accounts, you may find content that is not appropriate for you or for your students. And Tumblr is very specific in saying we allow any kind of content. If you are posting content for adults, you are supposed to flag your Tumblr account and let others know that this content is for others. And that flagging happens in the settings. So I'm just going to go back to the settings again, to the tools, and scroll down. And at the bottom right here in the directory, it says flag this blog as adult-oriented. And hopefully that will help the system display the kind of content you're looking for. But what's important is to sort of highlight that some of the adult content will be appearing on Tumblr accounts. And what they say is if you're following an account and there is a content you don't want to see, just stop following the blog you're following. Okay, a little confused about copyright. If I use my own content, are you saying anyone else can use it? People have a right to reblog it because that's how Tumblr works. You can see that when I was on somebody else's post, there was a reblog option to allow somebody to reblog your content. They can reblog it, but it doesn't mean that they have a copyright to it. What that means is that by using Tumblr account, you are sharing content on Tumblr, and other people can share it as well, but your copyright stays with you. So I hope that clarifies that. And I can sell it after that. No. It's not about selling. What that means is that if you came to Tumblr and you found an account that you like and you follow an account, and on that account was a beautiful picture, and you reblog that picture to your own account, the fact that you reblog that picture doesn't give you a right to now own the picture and take it and sell it. That picture still belongs to the owner who posted original picture on their Tumblr account. You just reposted it. You had the permission to repost it, but you don't have a permission to take over the copyright of the picture. So I hope that clarifies that, Sharon. Okay. I was concerned about my own photography. Thanks. Yes. Some people, what they do is they only post samples of pictures. Other people post a lot of other content. Keep in mind, anyone in the top right corner, it says that the content was reblogged from another Tumblr account. So the Tumblr is trying to keep track of it. As with anything online, if you post it online, there could be people who will just copy your picture and use it in any way they want. So some people protect their copyright by putting a watermark on the picture or a note, and that's the only really way you can do it. But it can happen to any pictures through any account, whether it's Flickr, Picasa, or anything else. As soon as your pictures are online, people can just copy it. That's the way they can do it privately, and then share a link to the private post with only those you want to see it. I'm not sure about that, Summer. I know what you're thinking. I haven't seen an option to say, share this post with specific people. It's not there. I haven't seen that. So I don't think that's an option for you that way. It's very likely that the easiest way, the way you're thinking, would be to create the Tumblr account and protect it with a password. So if you have, let's say, a group of people you want to use that specific blog or Tumblr account, you create an account, you give them a password, and they all can go in and can see all the content. Then you don't have to worry about private, not private, which one I flagged, which one I didn't flag. All of the content is password protected to be visible only by the people who have that password. For those two students, yes, yeah. Again, there are pictures and content you may be willing to share with other people. So, it all depends on the class and the group and how they feel about that. A lot of people share content, whether it's through Facebook or other tools. It's just becoming more common. Maybe you will share one picture publicly. That's all, rather than the entire group, and everything else you can post to a blog that's password protected. That's maybe a way around that as well. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up. It's 4 o'clock. I just want to make sure that I answer any questions you may have. And as usual with any kind of content that we share, I'm just going to say thank you for your participation from me and my kitty Jessie. And just a quick update on what's coming up. The email with a link to the presentation and a recording will be emailed to you in a few days. It will also be posted on the AlphaPlus website under training archived webinars. And next month, we are going to be looking at Google Chrome and various extensions you can use with Google Chrome to make your browsing and working online easier. That's on November 18th. And we have 5 people registered so far. If you like today's session and you're interested in the topic for next month, please help us promote the topic. I mentioned at the beginning that today's session, unfortunately, was at the same time as a conference for CLO, and a lot of our participants actually went to the conference, so our participation today is a bit lower than usual. Now, as with many other sites, we have to do feedback. So what I would like to do is basically take you to our feedback page, and I'm going to copy the link to the feedback right into your questions box, so you'll be able to follow that link. And either now or after we finish today's session, please consider going to that account and giving me feedback about the session and what you thought, your thoughts and suggestions for future topics. All that information is important to us, and I hope that you enjoyed today's session. And if there's anything else I can help with, I will be staying around for any further questions. In the meantime, I'm just going to turn off the recording so we can start finalizing the session.